This CyCast is provided to you by the Iowa State Letter Winners Club, bridging the gap between legend and legacy by engaging in our past to invest in our future.
All right, everyone, welcome to our latest CyCast, and we have a great guest today in Betsy Saina. And if anyone knows anything about Iowa State track and field, you're obviously going to know who Betsy is. She's an 11-time All-American, 3-time national champion. She was the National Female Cross Country Runner of the Year in 2012. I could go on and on, but Betsy is going to be inducted into our latest Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame class, and we're so happy to have you join us today. Betsy, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate.
Before we even get started, Betsy, you're training right now for a marathon, correct?
Yeah, I actually raced in Tokyo. That was
Okay.
in March, and now I'll be running the U.S. Championship 25K in Michigan in May 13. I'm getting ready to go to Chicago in the fall.
Gotcha. When Jamie Pollard, our Iowa State athletics director, called you and told you that you would be inducted into the Hall of Fame, what was your reaction?
Honestly, I was super excited. It's something that I was not expecting that I will be. It's something really prestige. And when I heard, when he told me about it, I was like, wait a second. I couldn't even believe it, actually, to be honest, because it's something that not everybody can be inducted to the Hall of Fame. So I felt like something special is happening in me, and I feel like it's something really huge that is going to, it's going to be history forever in my life. So anybody who will, even when I retire, they still have something that they would be revering me to, to always be like Hall of Fame from Iowa State.
Yeah. Tell us, Betsy, how you got recruited to Iowa State from, Kenya.
For me, I was really lucky, to be honest. How I got to Iowa State was really amazing because if you know Barnabas Correa, who was inducted to Hall of Fame last year or the other year, he went to school with my dad, and I remember when I graduated from high school, and I was running, but not like how I ended up coming to develop my career at Iowa State. I was just running like anybody else with no big ambition. So when we met back in 2007 after he told me he wanted me to run and then he can recruit me to a state and explain to me about the US because I did not know much about the scholarship and stuff. And when he told me he was going to support me, of course it's very hard, especially in Kenya, how to all the process takes a lot of financial and my parents was not able to finance me all the application, all the flight and stuff. It was kind of a little bit stressful to my family. But Barnabas, gave me this life and said, I'm going to support you to go to Iowa State because I was in Iowa State and it's one of the biggest dreams that they achieved from there. And I was really excited and I did not know what I was getting myself into, but I started the process through him. Yep, he helped me a lot and gave me all the support, and that's how I got to Iowa State.
How fortunate were you, Betsy, when you first came to Iowa State? You had an elite runner on your team in Lisa Cole. How much did she help you in your career?
Oh my! To be honest, it was really I cannot even imagine how. For me, actually, Lisa is my inspiration because when I go to Iowa State, my goal was I'm just going to run just to get the scholarship, But then we used to have that belief whereby in the US, all you have to do is just run a little bit and then you get your education. There's nobody who is running fast and something like that. But then I got to Iowa State when Lisa was actually setting collegiate record for. I remember she ran amazing for the 3,000 meters, and I was like, oh wow, So I started changing my mentality and started focusing, and I was really lucky to have Lisa in the team because she was really helpful to all of us. Everybody was looking after Lisa because she was just amazing. Everybody was admiring her, but I was so lucky to be sharing the same locker with her. I was so lucky to be in the same school with her, in the same team with her. And the reason I'm here today, to be honest, the reason I'm pursuing my career was just because I ended up going to the school where we had someone doing more than what other people are doing. She was just like any professional runner, and she changed my mentality for a better thing. And I was so lucky, and it just made my life easy, and I started every day saying I want to be like Lisa Cole, like I want to run like her,
Yeah.
and I just tell it, and I trained so hard, and thank goodness everything came together at the right time.
Yeah. Well, as a long distance runner, uh, that involves a lot of really hard, long training. How tough was it for you to adjust to train in Ames compared to Kenya?
I remember one day after it was my freshman year, and like for me, to be honest with you, like this, not everybody will ever say this, but when I go to, I never knew, like I used to hear like there's something called as white as snow, but nobody warned me about it. Nobody told me we're going to Iowa, whereby it's snowing. And as soon as I landed in Des Moines, I remember, like, I think I was 19, and I was like, I can see a lot of stuff, a lot of wet stuff, and I didn't even know it's snow. To be honest with you, I was
Yeah.
just naive for that. I did not know anything about it. And I remember I went to Grace. There was a girl from Kenya. Her name was Grace Rotich, or Grace Keme. And at night I was like, why is it freezing? And then I woke up in the morning at 6 a.m. and I was like, I'm going for a run, because in Kenya people don't wait until 8 or 9. We
Yeah.
like to run at morning. And I woke up and I was trying to open the door, and she's like, wait a second, it's cold. And I was like, wait, why? And then she explained to me about this amazing snow Iowa. And I was really shocked. I started having kind of a little bit stressed out, because I don't have anyone. I was still young. I never traveled before. I've never been in a foreign land, and I don't have anyone from my family. And I remember I called my dad after like a week, and I was like, I don't know if I will make it. It looks like it's tough for me. And Corey Emos was actually my biggest support. He helped me like a father more than a coach. Like, if Michelle was always there for me. Like, I remember I used to cry a lot, especially my first semester. I could close the door and be like, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I want to go back to Kenya.
Well, obviously you made a great transition and adaptation because in 2012, you won the NCAA Indoor Championships. Was your first NCAA title. What
Yeah.
was that feeling? What was that feeling like when you crossed the finish line first there?
I remember like I remember going to the nationals for the meet, and Corey was trusting me a lot, because he could see a lot of potential in me, but I did not see that in me. I was still not trusting myself that I can do it. But immediately when I crossed the line, that's when I got a lot of confidence, and I felt like, oh, I am like anybody else. I can do this even more. And it just changed my motivation, and it changes how I started training. It changes my mentality, knowing that I'm among the best in college. And I felt like it was really a big boost for me. So it was really a very huge thing that changed my life and changed my training for good.
What makes training for cross country so much different than like a 5K or a 10K?
Cross country is kind of like a little bit challenge, because everybody's racing it. 1500, everyone, some people can be 1500 meters, but they're really good with it. So for me, like, the training we were doing was kind of like, you have to be really tough. You have to be able to go through the barriers and stuff. It's kind of compared to the track, you have to work on the speed. And you can, if you are fit for the track, they can tell like you are really fit for the track because of the speed workout. But for the cross countries, like, you have to understand how to go through these barriers. You have to go through these hard sessions, that you have to go through the hills, you have to go through the mud. So
Yep.
it was a little bit like, it was really different. But to be honest, being in Ames, and Corey used to take us around, and he used to believe that one day I'm going to win. He could tell me, like, that day I remember he told me, you can do this, Betsy. And I was like, how am I going to do it with Jordan? I said, Abidi. I was like, I cannot do this. And when I was in the line at some point, I was like, am I winning this? You start surprising yourself. And I got this quick move, and I felt like we got the right training for this, and we are winning the NCAA.
And speaking of that, I've always heard winning a cross country title is so hard because you're beating every single person in the nation. I mean, it's one event, and you're beating everyone. And when you won the NCAA title, which was the first and only Iowa State, female to win an NCAA cross country title in 2012, how amazing was that for you in your career?
It just changed everything for me, to be honest. When I look at my history back at Iowa State, if there's something that I always feel like it's unique, is winning the cross country title. It just completely changed how I feel and how I take things in competition. Because I remember after that, I started running cross country, in Europe, and I always take all the cross country I did. I think I was top three. I did not do any cross country that I did not perform, because when I'm racing, I could feel like I won in NCAA. I can do it again here. So the cross country is really unique because it's something that not everybody has ever won it. Even if you look at those people who are competing professionally, not everybody won the NCAA like the way I did. Like Sharon Logeri from Kansas State, she won New York Marathon, but she never won the NCAA. So I feel like
Yep.
I have that as a big booster for me. Like it's something that I feel, it just gave my career a better boost.
And cross country is kind of a unique sport. It's obviously a very individual sport, but you're competing with a team. And you were a part
Yes.
of Iowa State's first two Big 12 cross country team titles. How awesome was that for you to be a part of a Big 12 champion team those 2 years, and basically kind of started that dynasty that Iowa State kept going on in cross country?
By that time, I remember after winning the NCAA, like it changes everything for the team. Cross country is a team thing, even though it's an individual event. Um, I remember like it just pushed a lot of people like trying to be recruited to come to your state, because people will see that saying if someone can win an individual title, it's just like it's a great team. It's a great Cyclones team that can, like everybody can come over, and it's kind of like a teamwork. Because for me, to be able to win the title, it sounds like an individual title, to be honest, but I felt like the team played a big role. I remember training with Danny Stark and Megan Denso, and they were a huge boost for me. Like there's some things that you cannot do as an individual. The only time that I did it as an individual is by winning the NCAA, but the team plays a big role because it shows we had a good coach, we had a good team, and we had a good support. Like having the director who loves the sport, the director who loves track and field, plays a big role for us. Like I remember he used to have a meeting with us, and if you go to other colleges, you might know like the director's name is so and so, but you might not meet them because maybe they are not interested in track and field. But we were so lucky at Iowa State to have Jimmy Pollard, because he was there all the time. I remember we could have
Yep.
breakfast in his house after doing a long run, and it just changes everything, to be honest. Like without the support, without the team, I don't think I was gonna do it as an individual.
Yep. Yep. Uh, Switching back to track and field, Betsy, twice you were named the top performer at the Big 12 indoor meet. And in 2013, which was your final year at Iowa State, you were also named the Big 12 performer of the 2013 indoor meet. That was a special day for you, or weekend, because you did something that had never been really done before. That you won titles in the mile, the 3K, and the 5K. Explain to someone how hard that is to do, because you're not in sprints, you're in endurance races, and to pull that off had never been done before. How special of a whole week was that for you to actually claim that?
To be honest, I remember like by that time when we decided that I was going to do 3 events, um, I was one thing that I was really lucky about. I was the fittest I've ever been since I came to Iowa State, and Corey could tell what I was doing in my training, and he told me like, "Can we do the triple?" And I was like, "Wait a second, can I do 2 events?" And he was like, "Let's do the 3 of them." And there's something that I learned from that day is like, if you believe in yourself, if you believe in something that you are doing, if you just put your heart on something special. I wanted to do it for the team. I wanted to show that we can have that special award, like after winning the Big 12, outstanding athlete of the meet. It just meant a lot to me because I did not want it to go to another conference meet, another school, because it was done at Iowa State. So it was kind of like an homecoming. It was kind of an homecoming event, and I just wanted to do it at home, and it just felt great to do it. I don't think I could have done it if I could have gone to another school, to be honest with you. The motivation was very high being home.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you certainly saved your best for last, because you capped off your incredible career at Iowa State by winning the 10K at the 2013 Outdoor Championships, and that was at historic Hayward Field in Oregon. What was that like to know that this is basically your final race and you won it all? How awesome was that to end your career like that?
I was super excited, but I was kind of emotional because I knew like I'm not going to get another chance to do this at Iowa State because it was that time whereby like I am done with my eligibility. I don't know where I'm going, so it was kind of like like a roller coaster because you are like, how am I going to do this? You're starting a new life, and you are doing your last event at the school that you really love to be around. I love being with the team. I'm gonna miss the coaches. Some of our colleagues we will never meet again, and it's just like I did it. But to be honest with you, it was kind of really, really an emotional moment, and I was really sad to be honest. Like as far as people were like, "Oh, you're doing great, so it's amazing." It was amazing, yes, but you still have that thing that you are going to miss the family. You're going to There's other people that you might never see them again, and it was kind of like a privilege to be in the same school. There's these special coaches. There's amazing athletic director at Iowa State, and it was just like, what am I going to do without these people? So I did not know where I was heading to, but I knew I was going to have another career. But I built a team for 5 years, and I wanted to be with those people forever. But unfortunately, things comes to the end. So it was really amazing to be honest. But like again, I said it was kind of like a big emotions running through my
Yeah,
heart.
yeah. Well, like I mentioned before, Betsy, 3 times you were named the outstanding performer at a Big 12 championship, and you were the Honda Award winner for the top cross country runner of the year. When you, like you talked about, when you stepped off that plane in Des Moines, when you first came to Iowa, did you ever think you could accomplish all these amazing feats at Iowa State?
To be honest, no. Because, like I said, when I was in Kenya, everybody was like, oh, there's nobody who's standing fast in the US. All you have to do, just go to school, go get your studies, and just, be able to run, to be able to compete, to get a scholarship. So for me, I did not know that one day, one time, I'm going to be a professional runner or I'm going to do something really amazing at Iowa State. Like, I knew I was going to be like any other person, just compete, get to class, compete and get to class. But then things changes really quick. And I remember my sophomore year, I sat down with Coach Emos, and he told me like, Betsy, I see a lot of ability with you. I see a lot of capability. You can do this. I want you to do this and this. You are very talented. And I went to uh, freshman year, I was number 7 at the nationals in the 5,000 meters outdoors, and that's when Corey discovered that I am a youth talent, and I actually believe in him. And things just changed from coming to Iowa State, not knowing that I'm gonna walk away being a professional runner, rather than going to pursue a career like being whatever I wanted to be in my school education. But I still appreciate everything. It has changed my motivation, and I hope my son one day, one time, when I will explain to him about this, hopefully he can be able to have a motivation like me and be able to go somewhere and pursue a career and be the best that he can as well.
Yep. So your career ends, Betsy, and you right away switch to running for international, competitions, and you made the 2016, Kenyan Olympic team, and finished fifth in the 10K at the Rio Olympics, which is an amazing accomplishment. What was that like? Tell us about what it was like to compete at that elite, highest level that you can compete at in your sport.
To be honest, like I remember in 2012 when I came to Kenya, I was trying to make the Olympic team and I did not make it. I was number 5, I think, and we went back. But to be honest, I've been having this dream, like it's like any other child who is willing, like saying, I hope I can be able to make this Olympic team one day, one time. And 2016, thank goodness, everything fell in my basket and I made this team. And I remember telling my father, like, my dream is finally coming through. I didn't care what I will achieve at the Olympics, to be honest, but at least I'm in the team. That is the biggest thing because making the Kenya team at that time was the hardest thing I've ever done, to be honest
Mm.
with you, because everybody's good. Everybody has ran 30 something. I had 30:57. But then in the trials, I was really lucky and I was surprised to finish second behind Vivian Cheriot, one of the best mid distance runners in Kenya. And like from then my heart and my everything, it just changes my mentality and I focus in it and I became fit. I wish I could have put a medal, but my dreams are not done yet. Like after finishing fifth at the Olympics in 10,000 meters, um, when I switched my allegiance 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I have a dream. I want to go to the Olympics next year. I don't fear with the body. I don't care. Like right now, it's like all that matters is you train hard, believe in yourself, because I believe in myself and I made the team. I want to believe in myself again, and hopefully I will be able to get my medal before I retire.
Yeah. What made you switch to the marathon, Betsy? Because right now your focus is more on the marathon, and you won the 2018 Paris Marathon. And what was your decision like to go? This is the event I want to focus on now.
Like I said, my biggest dream was to make the Olympic team in the track, and I made it already. When I get to the Olympics, I ran the fastest. I was number 5 with 30:07, and when I look at myself, I told myself, I don't think I still have anything else to give more than 30:07. To be honest, it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and I was the fittest I've ever been. And from then, I told myself, like, I don't want to do track anymore. I want to focus on the roads. I want to have a lot of fun, because you're running on the road, you explore when you're running. And I decided to pursue marathon because I love watching. I've watched New York Marathon, I've watched Boston Marathon, and it was something that I want to do it like other people the way they do it. And I'm so lucky that I transitioned well, and now I'm back on it, and I'm really excited, and hopefully I will be able to achieve my dreams before I retire through this marathon running.
Yeah. So for the Iowa State fans out there, Betsy is now a U.S. citizen, and she's training right now for the 2024 Olympics. To make the team for the U.S. team for the those Olympic Games. And how many marathons do you have scheduled? Coming up before the Olympic trials.
To be honest, for me, I mean, some people will be like, it's too early to start preparing for the Olympic trials. But for me, I sat down with my coach and we figured out, like, this is the time to start. Like, I'm gonna be running the U.S. Championship 25K in Michigan on the 13th of May. And then my next marathon will be Chicago Marathon. That is my last marathon before the Olympic trials, because I'm trying to do things right. Like, I don't want to over race. I don't want to do crazy stuff. I just want to focus on this, and hopefully I will be able to make the team for the Olympics.
Well, we're all rooting for you. Cyclone Nation's rooting for you, Betsy, and we're going to be following how you're doing. And I have one more question before I let you go, and I can't thank you enough for joining us today. How excited are you to come back to Ames in September for your Hall of Fame induction?
Oh my gosh, I'm really so excited. Like, I was speaking with my dad yesterday about it, and like, people think, in Kenya, people doesn't understand how amazing that award means. And I'm trying to explain to everyone, like, I have some couple friends that I'm trying to invite them to go to the embassy, and hopefully they can get the visa to come and celebrate with me. But my heart is full. Like, I've never come back to him since I left in 2013, and this is a huge comeback for me, to be honest. I'm super excited, and it's gonna be a big thing because I'm coming to Hames, and then right after that, my heart will be full, and I'm gonna head to Chicago Marathon. Hopefully, those two things can work out together. But I'm super super excited, and I can't wait to come back to Ames and see what is still there. Like, it's my family forever, and I feel like coming there is always a good thing for me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Betsy, and we can't wait to see you in September.
Thank you much. I appreciate you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys again.